Hi guys, welcome back to part 5 of our Let's Make a Game video tutorial series. So in this video I want to focus on making the AI, and there's just a few quick changes I want to do for mobile development. Since this is for mobile, I want to do a few changes just to increase some performance. So the first thing we need to do is just click on your directional light and change it from movable to station or even to static. I prefer station. Your shadows will disappear, they'll look like this, but we'll fix that in a second. Then, gonna find your finish trigger and just shrink it down to about 300 and move it more towards the back. Just so that it looks, you'll see why. There's a very specific reason. Alright, then what you can do is just save and press build. It will rebuild your lights, you'll get your shadows back. Alright, so let's start with the actual AI. So the first thing we need is you're going to go down to your place, volumes, and then nav mesh bounds. You're going to click on this little arrow to reset it to 0, 0, 0. And then you're going to go down in this box and you're going to change the Z to 10. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because that is the width of our floor, and we don't need it to be any higher than the floor. Alright, so let's change the X value to 4000, being as that is the length of our level. Alright. Then we're going to change the Y to 2000. And then we're going to see where it lies. So we're just going to place it like this. Make it 2200 so that it fits nicely. Alright, now you might be asking why are we doing this? Well, this lets us actually have our AI navigate. So the only thing we need to do now is just change the Z to 1. And it should work. Let's try this, 11. Oh, right, it would help if I actually enabled my view. There we go, change this back to 10. This back to 1. And there we go. You should see another green overlay pop up with different lines. Now, what this is where the actual AI can navigate across this entire, within these lines. Alright, so now that we've set up our level, let's set up our actual AI. So we're going to right click, create a new folder, and just call AI. We don't need anything much else. So the first thing we need to do for AI is to create a blueprint class and a character. Now here we're going to say my enemies are going to be cubes. So I'm going to say cube AI character. Jeez, I don't know how to spell today. Alright, so let's set him up quickly. So we're going to open it up. We're going to then add a couple of things. First thing we're going to add is add component cube. Then we're going to also add two, I'm going to scroll down to collisions, 2 box collisions, click on the first one, Control W to duplicate it, and then we're also going to add a user, right, just type in widget, there we go, we're going to use a widget. Alright, so now let's rename these things. So this, we're going to scroll down, we're going to unclick visible and click hidden in game. This we're going to name as cube AI mesh. You don't have to do this, I'm just doing it for when you need to. Then let's set up the cube AI mesh. So you're going to click on the basic shapes, and if you remember, we already have a red material because that's what I want to make my AIs, is this red. So you're just going to click here, and we know that that's the start area, so we're just going to click on that. Alright, now if you'll notice, there's actually a little blue, there you go, this little blue arrow, that's the forward direction. So that's also for a little bit later. So let's now set up the next part. So this is the first box. Oh, sorry, let's set up the capsule component quickly. So the capsule half height I figured out is actually 50. So change this to 50, change this to 50, and you should see those little dots there. Those little dots signify that the actual collision mesh is right there. You could make it bigger, you could make it 51, 51, but I'm just going to keep it at 50. Alright, then the next thing we need to set up, let's set up this box collision. So this will be our kill zone. And the second one will be our damage zone. The widget will rename to eyes. Alright. Then we're also going to add one more component and call this pawn sensing. Alright. So now that we've basically set him up, let's set up this kill zone. So this kill zone, when I was playing with the values, I set it to 45, 45, and 1. And then we're going to move this up about 50 units because that's right on top. So what happens is when the player enters this zone, it will take 1 away from the health of this cube. Alright, then the damage zone is the same but opposite. So it will do damage to the player instead of the actual cube. So we're going to change this to 60, 60, and like 20. Let's keep it at 20. So now this cube is going to deal damage. Now, where I placed it in my trial is I placed it all the way at the bottom, so that when the cube actually comes to us, it can eat us, technically speaking. Alright, so now let's quickly set up the eyes. The eyes are not too much of a bother. We're going to right click here. We're just going to say new folder, just call this AI widgets. We only need one technically, so we'll create a folder just to keep it organized in case we add more things. Then we're going to go to miscellaneous. Is it in here? Or do I have to go search for it? Nope. Alright. I'm going to create a blueprint class, type in the search bar widget, and a user widget. Now this will be our eyes widget. This is just to define. You could put a picture in, but I'll just use a widget because you can actually place it onto the character blueprint. So let's open up the eyes widget. Now, sure, we can put in an eyes widget, but what are we going to put in here? Well, let's go find a picture. I've already found one. Just Google eyes, Google googly eyes, or just eyes. Alright, so then let's go into where we have saved it. Alright, so there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to import this very same picture. So pictures, send the eyes. Alright, you'll see it'll be black, but that's because there's actually transparency. So we're going to open up our eyes widget. I'm going to drag this image in. And let's see, how wide is this image? This is 200 by 200. So we're going to click here into full screen, we're going to set to custom, set the width to 200, and the height to 200. This will allow us to make straight out eyes. This image, you can anchor it in the center, reset it 200 by 200, and then we're going to change the alignment to 0.5 and 0.5. This will then let us just keep it straight in the center. Click into the image. On the image itself, just select the eyes and then compile. Then I'm going to go back to our cube AI character, click on the eyes, and that's fine. I'm going to click on the widget class and just click on eyes. Now, so the eyes are there, but they're a little bit big. So this draw size, we reduce it to 200 by 200. The scale I found best was 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. And then we're just going to move it up a little bit, like so. Just so that they're there, but a little bit out. Change the snap to by 5. There we go. Save and compile. Alright. So now that we have the actual character that we're going to be using, we can place him into our world. So go back out, click on Cube AI character, and let's just drop him in here. There we go. Let's grab him like that. Great. So there he is. He's all chilled. So if we press play, we'll be able to see him. That's fine, but he doesn't do anything yet. So in the pawn sensing, we're going to change his hearing threshold to 300. All the values can change to 300, except for the sensing interval. That can change to 0.1. Right, the hearing, that's fine. Then we're going to only sense players, and we're going to be able to see pawns, hear noises, and the peripheral vision angle you can leave at 90. Now, as you can see, there's actually an event called onSeePawn. We're going to click that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab this pawn, we're going to cast it to our main player character, in my case the roller player, and then we're going to drag this out and just type in AI move to. Now what this does is it's going to say what it does it want to move, this pawn. So this pawn, which is this actual pawn, we're going to just get a reference to self, just type in self and attach to the pawn. The destination you can leave as is, and then you're going to grab this as roller character BP, select that as the target actor. Acceptable radius, you can leave at 5, that's perfectly fine, and save. Alright, so now when he actually sees us, he should move to us. Alright, yes, no, why not? Well, what's happening is, let's quickly play it like this, and then we're going to see what's happening in our graph. QBI character, he's not seeing us. It's moving up to here. Oh, there we go. And now he moved straight towards us. Great. So what we can actually do is increase his pawn sensing to about 500. Everything can go to 500. Right, there we go. Sight. Sight is the really important one. Now we're going to save. So when we get inside this white line, he will see us. And then he'll chase us. There we go. So now he's chasing us. Great. So he will chase us throughout the entire level. Alright, so now that our basics are working, we need to set up a few more things.